The main question is this available to us, the recording? And the answer is yes. Go to leanleadership.guru. There's a blue button there, and it says join our online office. You can get a 7-day trial free, so just apply for it. You'll get an email back telling you how to join. Now, when you go in, along the top, there is a documents icon. You'll find the documents icon, click on that, then you'll find webinars, then you'll find Jeff Liker webinars, and it's in there. Jeff, thank you very much for doing this again each month. You're so consistent. Thank you. Go ahead.
So, in summary, it would seem we have a choice between 1 inch deep, a mile wide, end-to-end value streams, change the whole company, or develop deep capability, and that means narrow, 1 inch wide, go deep, and really focus a lot of resources on, at first, a small number of people and developing their skills, and then they become coaches who develop others. And then you get a chain reaction. Let's start with the first one, deploying lean tools mechanistically, which I believe you probably all have experienced or are experiencing. And that starts with asking, what are the tools of lean? And normally that started with looking at Toyota. What do they do? And the Toyota production system. And they have 5S. They keep the workplace orderly and neat and organized. They try to build and ship just in time, right parts, right amount, right time, just when you need it. We want standards for quality, standards for safety, and standard work to do the job in a way that's repeatable and gives you consistent results. And usually that means standard worksheets that get posted. We set up Kanban systems to replenish supplies, to replenish parts, to move material from one place to another, even to control the work in process. For a knowledge work process, software developers will use Kanban to say, here's the next 1 hour of work on this card, and when I finish that, I'm ready for the next hour's worth of work. Total productive maintenance, or various maintenance systems, so that we can actually have our equipment run when we need it to run, so we do something every day to check and clean and keep the equipment in tip-top shape. And we start to imitate the work group structure and maybe some other aspects of the organizational structure, ways of recognizing and rewarding people when they improve things. So whatever that bundle is of both organizational tools and tools for fixing processes, we begin to accumulate those tools with training modules, with standard ways of implementing them, and perhaps we deploy those in a way that we check and audit and keep score, and if you don't get a certain score, then you don't get a bonus for the year. So essentially coerce people into using the tools and having evidence that they're using the tools. And 5S is one standard example where we sort, stabilize, shine, standardize, sustain. We clean up the workplace. We have a place for everything, and everything is in its place. And that's something that's relatively easy to audit. We can go and see, and we can use, in this case, a simple audit sheet that has yes/no questions. The first question is whether work in process is identified. Do we know why it's there? And we can check that. And we can say yes or no, and if it's no, we can write in a comment. And then we can add up the yeses and give you a score. And we can reward the best area in the plant. We can punish the weak areas. We can use more positive reinforcement and encourage those who are struggling and give them more help. So there's a variety of actions we can take for the weak areas. But what will happen is if you're teaching something fairly straightforward and you check on it regularly, you will get improvement and the place will start to look neater and more organized. There'll be more color coding, perhaps the lighting will get better, and we have a better work environment. So that's certainly a good thing to do. This is a kind of funny slide about 5S. We were doing work in Australia in mining, and one of my consultants happened to see this at one of the mines. You can see evidence that at one point this was a shadow board for tools, and nothing's in its place and it's not being used. So what happened? And the answer is that the audit stopped. The people who were passionate about 5S moved on to other jobs, and it no longer was a focus. It obviously was not so useful and so bought into by the managers and supervisors in the area that they, on their own, decided to keep it up. It was something they were doing because they were told to, and once they were not being checked, then their rooms got messy. So this suggests that the culture and the behavior change and the mindset change that we think about as continuous improvement never really happened. And we continually see this in companies that deploy lean tools very broadly. That is, the tools work great as long as you're auditing and checking them, and you are enforcing in some way with rewards and punishments that people use the tools. And when I say work great, I mean the intent is to keep the workplace neat and organized, and the workplace is neat and organized. It does not necessarily mean productivity improves or quality improves, or you don't have late shipments. Certainly it's easier to find stuff, so there might be some small waste elimination benefits. But it doesn't necessarily mean you're getting better on things that matter to the business, but it does mean that the tool is being used as long as it's being checked. But when management stops paying attention, it goes backward, because you really have not, this has not become part of the daily routine that people think is critical to doing their job. In summary, by going company-wide and deploying lean tools, what we're doing is we're narrowing our focus usually to a few tools at a time. We want cookie-cutter implementation. It looks the same wherever I go, and I know certain companies that specifically go and check when they visit a site, is the standardized work posted, and does it look exactly like the standardized work we specified in the corporate office? When you have a visual board, is every box exactly the same as what we specified? Is the board the standard board we specified? So they're more interested in compliance with the appearance than they are in whether it's being used, how it's functioning, what results you're getting. So this becomes then wall-to-wall in all areas. It does create a common language. It does give you a standard for the tools. It makes people aware of the tools. And the implementation can be relatively fast. Within a year, you can deploy a number of tools. And typically, people don't necessarily resist because the tools are relatively harmless. What they do is they just continue doing their work the way they were before the tool. So it is harmless because they're not really changing. The traps are that you're really often force-fitting the tool. It's kind of like the expression, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. If all you have is 5S, everything looks messy, and your job in life is clean up the mess, which may or may not be critical to the business. The tool is seen as the answer to all problems. Safety would be better with 5S. Uptime equipment would be better with 5S. People will be more productive. We assume that's true. The effort is lopsided. The Toyota production system was called a system for a reason, because all the parts, including the people, work together, and you aren't getting that system effect tool by tool. It's often difficult to get buy-in. I'm doing it because I'm told to, because I'm being scored based on it. And you may not get to connected flow or to, again, to any kind of a system. So you basically get what you pay for. You pay for some people to go out and deploy tools, and you get tools deployed.
Something in the air.